What's going on, guys? This is me getting back to doing comic book reviews. It's been a long time, but I missed getting my thoughts down. So that's what I'm going to try and do here. This is in no way is this going to be me reviewing all the books that I pick up every week, because I feel like I'm picking up way too many books now, 8 to 10 or something like that. So this is going to be me just picking out a few of the ones that I think I have particularly interesting things to say about, and talking about those a bit. So for this first video, I'm going to be talking about Detective Comics number 30, Magneto number 2, and Black Science number 5. If there's a book that I pick up that you particularly want me to talk about, go ahead and let me know when you watch my haul video on Wednesday. Leave me a comment, let me know what you want me to talk about that week, and I will do my best to do so. I think that I'll try and talk about any number ones that I pick up. Next week's number one heavy, so the books that I review will probably all be number ones next week. But like I said, I'm going to start with Detective Comics number 30. This is Manapul and Buccella's first issue on the book, Icarus Part 1. There's been a lot of hype surrounding this. I'm definitely at fault for hyping it up a lot, and I think I overhyped it in my head. The artwork is fantastic by Francis Manapul, everything that I thought it would be. I love his Batman as much as I loved his Flash, but the story wasn't quite where I wanted it to be. It was an okay story, and albeit it was a first issue, so I need to be a little more lenient than I otherwise would. The story is setting up nicely. We get to see the sketchy things that are going on in Gotham and the things that Batman is going to have to deal with moving forward in this arc with the street drug Icarus that seems to make people spontaneously combust. But there wasn't anything particularly interesting about this issue that would make me come back for the next one outside of a big cliffhanger sort of on the last page. So I'm going to be sticking around mostly because Manapul's artwork is amazing, and there was some cool things done in this story, but I hope that it picks up. This wasn't, it wasn't exactly what I wanted it to be, but still overall a good issue and a good jumping on point. I would suggest anybody who's been interested in Batman or in this Detective Comics book that now is the time to jump on board with a really huge tonal shift going on. It's been a really bad book for a long time, and I think Manapul and Buccelletta are going to do a good job in switching that around. Next, Magneto number 2. I was really hesitant picking up this book a few weeks ago, actually a couple months ago when number 1 came out, and the artwork wasn't my favorite thing ever. I wasn't sure if this was going to be the book for me, but it just took a couple pages to turn me around. And if you don't know what the premise of this book is, it's Magneto sort of avenging crimes against mutants in his own way. And people are being turned into human sentinel hybrids, and Magneto is getting to sort of investigate that and getting to the bottom of it in his own sort of violent way. Throughout this issue, we get a lot of flashbacks to Magneto's past that really help the reader understand what he's been through and why he is the way he is, why he feels like he needs to go about doing these certain things in the violent way that he does. If you don't know anything about Magneto, of course there are flashbacks to World War II, his experience as a Jew during World War II. So I think that's really my favorite part of the book, and the artist whose name is escaping me, I'm sort of iffy on everything else in the book, but I think he did an amazing job with the flashback scenes in this particular issue, so really enjoyed that stuff. And of course there's more brutal, violent use of Magneto's powers, which surprised me the most about the first issue, and I think that was my favorite part about the book. So I can't recommend this enough. We're only 2 issues in. Jump on board. It's been a really fun ride, and I only expect it to get better. Cullen Bunn's doing a really amazing job. He's kind of hit or miss with me. I don't like everything that he does, but Magneto's definitely been a really good book, and I can't suggest it enough. And finally, I'm going to be talking about Black Science number 5, of course written by Rick Remender, art by Matteo Scalera. Dean White colors really make the book. Grant and the team are trapped in another dimension, and the pillar is inoperational. For those of you who don't know about the specific premise of this book, they have the pillar which allows them to jump between dimensions, and the pillar was sabotaged, so they are stranded. It's operational in that it will jump and it but they can't control where it goes or when it leaves. So they're just sort of they're just along for the ride until they can end up somewhere where they can actually fix it. In this issue, we get to find out who sabotaged the pillar. And we get to see a really, really interesting interaction. This is kind of a spoiler, so I would suggest jumping ahead if you haven't read it yet. But we get an interaction between Grant and his kids, and also they meet Grant and his wife from another dimension. Their children in the alternate dimension, their children have actually died, so they are trying to kidnap. I believe their names are Paya and Nathan from our Grant. And I think this is something that's going to come into play later in this series. Maybe not with Grant specifically, but I think it would be interesting to see other characters in the book run into alternate forms of themselves in other dimensions. So it's a complex book but the art is amazing. The story is super interesting. This is very well could be my favorite book that I'm picking up monthly right now. Really, really Rick Remender at his best. I would suggest we're 5 issues in, and it's a tough book to get caught up on. But I would definitely suggest checking out the trade when that comes out. I think after issue 6. So yeah, that's just me, talking about a few of my books this week. I think I'm going to try and keep this up through the next couple weeks. Maybe I'll do four books next week because it's kind of a short video. But take care, guys. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys on Wednesday with my new Comic Book Day haul video. Take care.